Hello there once again, this is Teacher Henry, and today we're going to learn about how to multiply rational number. Now first, when we say rational number, we are speaking of algebraic expression that is expressed in fraction. That's why it is called rational expression. So I will make the solution for this topic very easy to understand and easy to remember. Because here we're going to do only 2 steps. Remember, 2 steps only. So you have to listen carefully on how I answer these problems. Remember, this is only for multiplication. Okay, listen up. Say we have a problem like number 1. Let's say we have x squared minus y squared. Again, this is a fraction. Let's say we have very simple like x plus y. Or let's say 2x plus 2y. And then this fraction here, we're going to multiply this by another fraction. Let's say we have 3x. The denominator is x plus y. Alright, remember this. This is very easy, but you have to listen carefully. We have 2 steps only. The first step, you're going to factor the numerator and the denominator of each factor. We have one factor here and another factor here. If the numerator or the denominator is factorable, then factor it. If not, just copy. Just copy. Okay, let's do it. You ask yourself, is x squared minus y squared factorable? Oh yes, it is. Using difference of 2 squared. Those things that I have discussed a while ago, or from my previous videos. So let's factor this out. So we have difference of 2 squares. We have, since this is negative, 1 positive here and 1 negative here. The square root of x squared is 1x here and another x here. And the square root of y squared here will be y here and another y here. So x plus y multiplied by x minus y will be the factored form of our numerator. And we're done with the numerator. Now let's go to the denominator. Let's ask again ourselves, is this expression factorable or not? What do you think? Oh yes, it is. Using again common monomials, this time common monomials, we have to factor out the 2 here, but they are variables, you cannot factor them out because they are different. So let's do it. You factor out the 2 here. Okay, it's just like 2x divided by 2 will give us only x as your quotient. Now you just copy this sign and you do the same thing here. 2y divided by 2 will give us y. For us to know whether our answer is correct or not, we just use the process of distributive property. So 2 times x will give us 2x, and 2 times positive y will give us 2y. Meaning to say, our factored form using common monomial for this denominator is simply correct. Now let's move on to the next factor. We have 3x all over x plus y. Now obviously this is monomial. There is no way we can factor this, meaning to say this 3x is already prime. So what do? We just copy it. Very clear, right? And then we check again if this binomial, 2 terms binomial, is factorable or not. Obviously, the expression is not factorable. Again, we just copy. Alright, so we finished the first process. The first process is factor, if possible. And the second step will be much easier. And that is cancellation. We only cancel the terms or the factors that are common to numerator and the denominator. So we have x plus y here, which is common to this one. So in other words, we can simply cancel this one out and also this one. Do we have any other factors that can be cancelled out? We cannot factor it anymore. So we're finished with cancellation. Right? Can we factor the x here and x here? No, of course not. Why? Because this is a binomial separated by plus, so you cannot cancel it. Only cancel it if the operation is multiplication. So, now that we're finished factoring and we're finished cancellation, what will be the next step? Our next step is just to write the remaining terms or factors, and that will be our final answer. Let's do it. Numerator, we have 3x. Just write it down. And we have x minus 7. We were not able to cancel it here because it's positive, here it's negative. So it's x minus y. And what happens to our denominator? We still have 2 here and the binomial x plus y. Can we say that this is already our answer? Oh yes, it is. So this, my friend, is our final answer. Again, we just follow 2 steps. One is factoring and the other one is cancellation. Meaning to say, in dealing with multiplication of rational algebraic expression, you have to have a good knowledge and skill in terms of the process of factoring expressions. Okay? Let's have one more example. Let's say we have x expression like x squared minus x minus 12. All over now the denominator, let's just say x or 3x minus 12. Okay? Let's multiply this with expression like 9 all over 15x. So again, there are 2 steps that we have to do. First, let's factor and check whether which one of these can be factored. So this obviously can be factored using quadratic trinomials. So we put 2 parentheses here. Now again, how do we factor this? Since this is negative, you check the last term, the sign of the last term. Since this is negative, we put 1 positive here and 1 negative here. Meaning to say, when the last term is negative, you have to have a different signs for the 2 parentheses. Now, since we have x squared, the square root of that is x and x here. That will give us x squared. Now, the factor of 12 that will give us the difference equal to 1. There's a hidden 1 coefficient here. Negative 1. It should be 4 here, and we have 3 here. So, because the factor of this is 3 times 4, and at the same time, you subtract 4 minus 3, that will give us 1. And since the bigger number is 4, you have to put the 4 here, similar to the sign of the middle term, second term. So, this is negative because 4 is bigger than 3, and we have here the 3. So, this is the factored form of this expression in our numerator. The denominator, we can use also factoring using monomials, common monomials. You factor out the 3, okay, so that means 3x divided by 3 will give us x, and then copy the sign, so 12 divided by 3 will give us 4. Let's check if this is correct. 3, using distributive property, 3 times x will give us 3x, 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Meaning to say, this is the correct factor of your denominator. Now apparently, 9 cannot be factored, you just copy. Since 9 is just a constant, so you just copy this, it's not factorable. So with this 15x, you just copy. Alright, let's now use the process of cancellation, which factors here will have the same for numerator and denominator. Apparently, we have x minus 4 and x minus 4 in the denominator. They will cancel out. And we can cancel also the 3 here and the 9 here. This will give us 3. And lastly, we have constant here or coefficient of 15, coefficient of x. You cancel again the 3 here. And this, when you divide this by 3, this will give us 5. And now we're finished with all the cancellation. Whatever is left now, that will be our final answer. Let's check. So these 2 are cancelled. What is left is x plus 3 together with this. So we have your 3x plus 3. I hope that is very clear. Let's do it again. This is x plus 3 and the remaining factor we have 3 here. So 3 multiplied by x plus 3 will be our numerator. What about the denominator? This is cancelled, and we have here 5, because 15 divided by 3 will give us 5, 5x here. And now we're finished, and this we can say is our final answer. Just remember, when you are doing the process of multiplication, that's why there's a dot here that shows the operation of multiplication. Whenever we have multiplications on rational expression, always remember the 2 steps. You just have to factor each of them and then cancel the whatever is the same for numerator and denominator. After that, whatever remains, that will be your final answer. So that's all for today, guys, and I hope you learned again something from my lecture, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you all.